If I was a big, bearded white guy, would you guys still be mocking me right now? Or would you be spanking my bare balls button back? Anyway, that's enough of Tim Robinson. I'm first position again, and I came home and I had this one viewer, and he was like complaining that I post too many wins and not enough losses. So I'm gonna try to see if I can lose this game trying my hardest. I mean, obviously I can. I probably will. There's a Tessia in the game, but let's see if we can get some lost content on the channel for him so that he shuts up. Yeah. Playing against an Armand, so we know who we want to lose to. Flagship Holtzman's kind of cool. Could be a reason to play Memnon or Laza. The cards are a little boring, extremely Fremen oriented. I wonder if that's an argument for Ariana. Ariana likes the Fremen type of playstyle. Let's try it. She's a pretty bad leader, so, you know, if we win, it'll be awesome. If we lose, that was probably the expected outcome. Ugh. That is really bad. Like, really bad. Wow. Well, there's worse hands technically, but I mean, like, the reconnaissance isn't good with a combat this horrible. Let's go to Arakeen, I guess, and try to improve our options. I mean, a combat point's a combat point, but it's not so good to spend 3 troops on a water, which is probably what happens when someone goes to Hardy Warriors. Let's just put 1 troop in, honestly. This is not great. So the priority card here is definitely Kynes. Kynes is a lot stronger when you have these other Fremen cards. So, you know, Tech Negotiation's a natural second play here. It's unfortunate that I had to let Full Space and Smuggling go, but I really had no choice. I couldn't visit either of them. It's just unfortunate. I just didn't have an option. So I think Tech Negotiation's the play. That's because, you know, if we don't get Kynes, which is our best option, we could still get Legion or we could still get Power Play. Yeah, I think that is the way to do it. So, yeah, going first and not getting one of those 2 spaces is pretty rough, especially if you don't have a specific plan in mind. Now, I mean, if we get Kynes, that is a plan, right? Kynes is a win condition. I'm teaching a friend how to play. He's getting really into it, and he's texting me on Discord asking me, like, you know, what kind of cards does Lito want to buy and stuff like that. Yeah. Tech Negotiator, does that matter? These are so expensive. I mean, it probably does matter, but it's going to take a while. Hate to lose the... Did he not have any other option? Because that's a really bad early reveal. We took Tech Negotiations. He did not have another option. That sucks for him. That said, he got Smuggling, so it's not that bad of a position. Yeah, I mean, look how low the bids are on this auction combat. Like, everyone knows this combat kind of sucks. So, yeah, I mean, maybe Tessia will end up going to Hardy, but yeah, it's looking like I'm gonna get Kynes unless she early reveals. Unfortunately, I took all the Fremen out of the row. Oh, she early reveals. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's bad because that was kind of our. Was kind of supposed to be how we were going to win the game. So, Power Play or Legion? I mean, Power Play is probably the overall better card. Legion offers a little bit more repeat value, but I don't know how good it is for Ariana. I think we go power play here and just kind of be sad that we didn't have a better round. Ooh. And then Armand's going to pick up a web of power, I think. We're last to reveal next round, so we're probably not getting it. Yikes. You know, it's actually very good with power play. I would definitely early reveal for it. Although, we drew both our convincings, so I don't think that's likely. Well, I mean, this is 4 persuasion right here, so, you know, as long as we draw... Yeah, I mean, pretty much anything we draw, we can do that, so... we could tie for 1 spice. 1 spice for 1 troop is generally not a good transaction, but for Ariana specifically, it's pretty good, because Ariana's pretty bad at getting spice, so... Romber goes up, not down, which makes sense. I mean, he'd be 1 Solari short. So basically, we need to find something to do with our Seek allies, or we can just take a ring to tech negotiation again, which is probably maybe more valuable thing to do. But it's tough though, because like if we spend 2 rounds not getting any Solari at all, I think we're just gonna be way too far behind. I don't think we can early reveal for Web of Power. Like if Romber gets it, so what? You know, it's not the end of the world. Ooh, it's my card. Okay, so instead of that... Here's the weird thing, though. We can't go to Still Suits. We want to go to Research Station, but we can't go... Like, our ring is our only city, so we can't do it. Yeah, this is tough. We don't have enough spice to get a tech, either. So I think... We open here, draw a card. The dagger tells us we're probably not going to get Shai Hulud this round. I think it would be very hard to make it happen. We could Seek allies, trash dagger. We have to pick up 4 persuasion. It's a very low chance. You know, we have to draw 2 exact cards. So like, you know, the odds of doing that in a 5-card deck, sample size would be 2 in this case. We have to draw exactly those 2 cards. I mean, it's 10%. Yeah, it's not going to happen. So at this point, what we ought to do is probably just take Seek Allies to Wealth and get it out of the deck. That way... Next round, we can actually go do what we want to do, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the logic I'm going to take here. So Armand early revealing for the Web of Power, that's fine. It's not Tessia, so I don't really care. Embedded Agent is such a beautiful card. I don't think I can get there. The odds of me getting there are higher, though, because the Reconnaissance is suddenly a valid draw. Okay, well, Tessia takes Wealth. We don't get it. What do we think about Hardy Warriors here? It puts us further away from our big cards, but it's a very valuable point, especially for Ariana. That bonus spice is a big deal. So I do think I want to do that. And it's not like the water is all that expensive for her. So I don't feel like it's by any means a bad play. So Romber will reveal 3 cards. There's 2 daggers in his discard pile. So if we put only 1 troop in, we are pretty much guaranteed the combat unless he has a card. If we do this, we protect ourselves against like a tiebreaker or something, but that seems like a bad use of a troop. If he has an ambush, he still beats us. So we just accept that if he has any combat card at all, that we lose the combat. I think that's acceptable, because a 2 water reward for second will lock us for Shai Hulud most likely, going to Research Station. So it's fine. We want the combat, but if he has a card, he has a card. It's not a big deal. I will take, however, a local fence. You know, it's a good way for Ariana to pick up some spice. And right now I could use it to get 5 Solari, which would be pretty good. So I will definitely take a local fence. What did Tessie end up buying? Just a liaison, nothing special. Armand does, or not Armand, Robert doesn't have the card, so we get this, and this is super essential. This is unaffected by Ariana's spice addiction. Getting it round 2 is going to be really important. So a lot of spice for Tessia. What's that mean in practice? Flagship is a possibility. Holtzman's a possibility. That's not really how Tessia plays, though. So this is interesting. We don't have any water, so Shai-Hulud might be off the table. We could power play to selective breeding and try to get to Shai-Hulud, but if we do that, you know, I just don't think it's as good as going full space with power play. Like, that's the bottom line. I think this is just the best thing to do. Especially given that we didn't actually pick up a Fremen card, right? So, yeah, that's the thing to do for sure. So we could go pick up a tech. We have functionally 5 spice to buy tech with. Doesn't get me anything I want. If one of these players does visit Imperial Basin before my turn, I could get a Holtzman, and that would be worth it to me. It's going to be a slow route to Swordmaster, but we should get there. We also have 2 troops, which is the most of any non-Tessia player. Tessia has 2. So, you know, if none of these guys go to Hardy Warriors, Arakeen and Karthag are valid plays. Arakeen probably a little bit better because we would want to stick on that 5 persuasion number. And pretty good odds of that. We have 5 out of 7 cards that have persuasion on them. Looks like Romber's going to get a Swordmaster this round. So we can't really rely on having the most troops. Romber will probably deploy after us. Yeah. The good news is if we visit the cities, we kind of pressure him towards Imperial Basin. Romber's a spice gathering leader. It's what he wants to do. So he is likely to visit that space if we go to one of these 2. Given that tech negotiation is no longer an option, there's not really a choice. Okay, so Tessie is going to pick up a Holtzman. I think that's actually a pretty big mistake from her. It's a great tech, but it's not a Tessia tech. It's just a totally different play style from how she plays. So we know for a fact Tessia and Armand are not in the combat. So if we deploy, you know, at worst, we're going to get Intrigue Water, which is pretty good. We're going to get Interstellar next round, so winning this would be really huge for us. So let's go ahead and go to Arakeen. Fold Space is one of the cards we didn't want to draw. We'll put in 3. Because if we win, we get 1 of the troops back, and realistically it's 2, because we get 2 from the shipping track. So Armand's going to go... Or not Armand. I keep calling him Armand. I don't know why I grouped those 2 leaders together, but Romber's going to go Swordmaster. He'll go after us. Unfortunately, we don't have a great card to buy. You know, we can buy like a freighter fleet. And it's a fine card. Given that we're going to have Interstellar, we probably should pick it up if it's available. But I suspect it won't be. So we'll see what kind of comes up. Embedded Agent is pretty dangerous to let Armand have. He's already assembling the BG deck. He's got the Sister now. He already has the Web of Power. So, I mean, if we had 5, we really wanted to keep this away from him. Although he reveals before us anyway. So, yeah. So he does get the... Yeah, and he's going to do it. So Armand's putting together kind of a monstrous machine. And given some of the misplays from Tessia, I actually think Armand is the competition here. He's not close to his Swordmaster, but he's not far. He's already at 2 bumps. So if he gets smuggling next round, he probably will have it. Especially if I end up shipping down. So I don't know what the what the answer to that is, like besides hating out BG cards. And maybe targeting him a little bit more aggressively. The only good thing about having the fold space is that we didn't draw it late next round. We're going to have enough persuasion, most likely, for Shai Halud. Let's figure out what happens here. I mean, I really want that Shai Halud, but the later the game goes, the less valuable it's going to be, unfortunately. Yeah. Just puts 1 troop in for value. Okay, 3. So you're probably taking the freighter fleet. No, you're not. Fremingkamp. The problem with Fremingkamp is that Ariana doesn't make enough spice for this to be useful for her. I mean, it's good if we get the Shai Halud. And it helps us get the Shai Halud. The freighter fleet, I feel, is more consistently useful. Let's do like freighter fleet liaison. Liaison will play that role of kind of trying to juice up the Shai Halud. Come on, Romber, you want some spice. He's probably not going to go for it. But it'll be a juicy spice spot for next round. Hardy Warriors. Okay, so he found a way to beat us in this combat. Definitely, Hardy Warriors, you can put in 4 troops and just guarantee it. So that's a little unfortunate for me. But a water and intrigue, it's not terrible. I'll probably be able to go to research station. I can use the local fence for Solari. Might be worth going local fence wealth, but that's a little bit out there. There's another BG card that we have to worry about. The problem is it's a 3-coster, so we can't really deny it to Armand. If he has his ring. She probably won't, but yeah, he won't have it, but even still, it's concerning. Second wave is not good here. Yeah, this was bad for us. I didn't think he would go Hardy. It's a little jerky. It's still a little jerky. I need to make sure that I have that update installed. Tessia pays us. That's not enough. I mean, it's enough for a good tech. The problem is that there's not a good tech available. At least not one that we would consider good presently. So this is tough, right? We can guarantee a Swordmaster by going wealth plus local fence, but I think it's better just to do our time in the interstellar mines here. Because we're going to get interstellar again next round. We have to also consider, though, I mean, if we plan on getting Shai-Hulud here, like, at all, at any point, we probably have to... Well, you know, I think about that. Like, if we go to selective breeding, trash like a trash our freighter fleet. 0 persuasion card would let us immediately get our 5 Solari. Possibly skip the Q on Swordmaster. Gives us a faction bump. What are our odds, though? Because we got into 3 persuasion, right? So we have to draw 4 of it. It's not super likely. It's not impossible. We have 3 cards like that. But it's not great odds, to be honest. And obviously, we would rather get like the long-term value of repeatedly getting the freighter fleet. Besides, we're gonna end up with the tech bonus if we don't do it that way, because we'll have Interstellar again next round. Yeah, I don't know. This is tough. Like, we want to play the local fence. But the local fence, we don't really get any good cards. I think it's... So, okay, so if we draw from a 6-card deck, because Freighter Fleet's gone, and half of the 6 cards are convincings... I think that odds of that are decent, right? So, like, you know, population has to go up to 6. Our sample size is 2. Our successes are 3, and we need to have 2 of them. 20%. It's actually not likely. Now, I mean, if we fall short of that, you know, we get like a reconnaissance or something. We could still get like a treachery. And this is tough, to be honest. I'm not sure what the right. I mean, we still lock in Swordmaster if we go do that, right? So it's not like a total loss. And it's fun. I think there ought to be points for fun. So let's do the fun thing. We know we're drawing our ring, actually, so we're actually guaranteed. So, hold on, we're actually guaranteed not to get what we want doing that, because we know we're drawing a 1 persuasion card. So it actually just straight up doesn't work. I mean, it's fine if our goal is to trash Freighter Fleet, but I don't think that makes sense. Let's just use the fence. Oh, but if I do that, then I can't play my ring. Well, yeah, okay. I screwed up. At least I can potentially reveal for the sister before Armand is going to reveal. So that's something. And she does add persuasion. This round we're going to finally buy a technology. He's got ordnance or wind traps if he wants them. He gets ordnance, okay. No high council seat, but I'm sure he'll get there. New tech is what? Chimurky? Wouldn't mind a Chimurky myself. Eight from Tessia is pretty crazy. So she might take Shai-Hulud away from us. I mean, the better Tessia card is honestly Treachery, but Shai-Hulud makes more sense with kind of the way she's been playing, which is sort of the more slow burn, you know, Ilbon Armand playstyle, which I really like. So we lose our card, but at least we'll get the sister, which is still good, and we keep it away from Armand. That's sad. Deck is really nothing special, but it's okay. We might be able to still do okay this game. Especially with clutching out that power play on Fold Space. Okay, so 8 is a pretty important breakpoint. We definitely would like this if we can get it. Ariana's good at that. It's just that we kind of blanked our ring this round, so it's going to be tough. Not good seeing Tessia get those faction bumps, but it's going to happen. And Tessia can do anything. Like, Holtzman is not, like, even if it's not a great Tessia strategy, I mean, it's, you know, it's still probably going to win. Okay, so Armand got to 8. There's really nothing we can do about it. So he's just going to beat us to Swordmaster this game. Sucks, but it is what it is. So let's do this. You know, we can vainly hope that since he has the embedded agent, maybe he doesn't prioritize Swordmaster, right? That's a possibility. Wind Traps is interesting. Given that there's a Chome Directorship out, that might not be a terrible idea. I mean, we maybe just want to do Fold Space to High Council. That's not going to get us there. That would get us to 5. Yeah, I mean, it gets to only to 5 at minimum, but at maximum 7. So it doesn't get us to the 8. We have Research Station access. I mean, I almost wonder if it's better to Mentat here and then Fold Space to wherever our next play is. So he actually didn't do it. So that's pretty awesome. It means that we get to play Dagger to Swordmaster. We could also play Fold Space to Swordmaster, but I don't think that's a good use of Fold Space, to be honest. Yeah. Basically, Armand drew Embedded Agent, and he didn't feel like being mean, is what happened here, I believe. What did he do? He went to Secrets. Yeah, okay. And yes, he will embedded agent. He actually... Okay, so it wasn't that he wasn't feeling mean. It's that he's going to use her for the 2 shipping bumps off of Sister. So it's still pretty rough, actually, for us. And Romber now has the research station, so he's likely to pick up one of these guys. Yeah. And because he's already at the top of the shipping track... Well, I don't think he'll get attacked. He'll just probably go down and up. He could get Chimerky. He could get Chimerky. It would put him at his cap for injury cards, though. And I would definitely steal from him. We definitely don't want to let Tessia win this. But now we have enough. Now we have enough Solari that we could mint at. I don't see the advantage now. I guess we could fold space mint at, play diplomacy. I mean, it's possible. You know, we could draw our freighter fleet or something, but it's not great. We could hardy and just win the combat. It's a pretty decent Ariana combat too. Or we could take fold space to selective breeding, trash a dagger. Although I think we would rather trash the freighter fleet. We're unlikely to get to 8, even having done that. Draw 3 is fine, but when you have to draw 5 persuasion in that 3, it's a... Well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... Yeah, with 4, we have 4 2 persuasion cards. But it's not even half the deck. So I'm thinking Hardy is the answer here. Esmar would be great. So let's do 3, and then we have the second wave if we need it. Esmar's good, but the problem he runs into at this point is that he really doesn't have persuasion. Like, round 5 is pretty late for him. Is Legion better? Because Legion goes to a faction that we don't... Like, Legion goes to a faction that we need more. And... It's just that the card is not that great. And Ariana doesn't have any particular synergy with it. It's not awful, but it's not that good. And we already have second wave if we needed to deploy extra troops. And the faction bumps probably don't matter. Wow. This is at 9. I don't know that it makes any logical... Oh, God. probably game. Okay, so I mean that's not great. Legion helps us get High Council online, if that matters. And I don't know that the spice matters that much, and we're probably not going to draw them. So let's pick up the Legion. I never pick up Legion ahead of Esmar, but I think this is kind of one of those times. Wow, there's a lot of daggers in this game. It's almost like a sunk cost fallacy thing where I'm like, maybe I should second wave just to save face. Because if I second wave, I go to 8. 2 troops is 4 more. I go to 12. But that just ties me. So it's like, wow, 3 troops I'm last place is crazy. This is a better combat to use my card on, for sure. So we're at 7 Persuasion. Freighter Fleet in deck. We really haven't been drawing as many cards as I wanted. And the nice thing about winning that combat would have been that it would have given me some water. But I didn't get that route. There's a lot of shipping going on this game. We can take Sister to BG. The problem is we didn't draw the freighter fleet, so we can't really capitalize on that. I mean, it's not awful to do it just to do it. Piter is cool. I really wish he would have been available last round. He's a lot better than Legion. Problem is, we're around 6 now. Like, this is kind of when I'm supposed to start pivoting to Spice Must Flows. We're not out of the pack by any means. We're just 1 point behind Tessia. But it feels like we're a little bit further behind than that. We can local fence the Solari into Spice, which is pretty good, actually. Is there a tech that we would like? Just Jamarki wouldn't be bad. We could pick that up now if we really wanted to. If we had what is this, 6 spice? I mean, that's really just a good place to be in general. Let's go ahead and go to Arakeen. Put 1 in. We have second wave if we need more. Ring is a good thing to draw. It's a really good card. So I feel like this is the first time he's drawn web. He must have drawn it before this, though. I guess I just didn't notice where he went up with. Because he's Armand. I mean, he had to have drawn it by now. If he didn't, he got criminally unlucky. We open the possibility of a research station if we play our ring, but with the freighter fleet in the deck, I don't think that's very likely to be fruitful. Actually, we don't, because we can play ring, but not to research station. So we only open the gates to that next round. Sure, we can go to Great Flat, but we already have enough spice for that as it is. We do want to get back to our diplomacy so that we can highlight our next round, because we are eligible for that. Let's take Sister. Well, if we... let's take Sister to Secrets. Play your faction, right? Glimpse the Path is good. The problem it runs into is that we take ourselves off of Highliner. I guess we can get the spice back if we got second in the combat, but that's kind of hard to get to. Okay, so he goes tech negotiation. Takes the Chimurky. That would have been nice to have, but I'm not, like, super, like, married to it. Invasion ships is interesting, right? Like, that allows us to go Interstellar next round, but I don't know how valuable that would be. Get paid spice again, which is awesome. So it actually gives me the spice to glimpse with, which is pretty awesome. Yeah, that's actually really great. Because we have the second wave, we can kind of sandbag this a little bit. Hopefully... I know that Tessia's going to commit something here, but hopefully she commits less than she needs. So the problem is now she has Highliner spice, and she's going to have it before I do. And if that's what she wants to do, she'll do it. Let's glimpse. There's the freighter fleet. So we can't trash it now. If we research station this round, what do we get out of that? I mean, realistically, we're only on 4 persuasion. We probably end up blanking our faction by doing that. It's not really an ideal situation. I almost prefer Carthag here. Like, Sleeper Must Awaken is good. That gives us something that we can do with our spice without having to go to Highliner specifically. Does Tessia have Shy Halud? No, it's in her play area. Does she have a Spice Must Flow for Holtzman? No, she doesn't. So she's not in a crazy position. Armand, though, that's a lot. It's a lot. 9. Wow. Okay, so second wave is functionally 6 daggers, right? So it would put us ahead of Armand if he doesn't have a combat card. We can use the trash from the combat to get a second shipping bump, and we definitely want to. So I think it's worth using, even though there is a combat again next round. Because the way that it breaks down, either we go Highliner and we have a shot at it, or Tessia goes Highliner and we don't. If Tessia goes Highliner, The fact that we still have a second wave in our hand is not going to matter. Sayadina is, oh my god, so lucky. Unless she is going to take it. Did I miss something here? Did that just come out? Damn it. That would have saved our game, man. Okay, well, 3 persuasion, yeah. So we advance. We probably buy a liaison at this point. We need persuasion. Water Pillar is tempting, but we already have 3, and we're Ariana. We don't need it. We just don't. Yeah. Doesn't play a card. If he does have one, we're going to feel sad, because it's going to be a pretty big commitment. But I'm going to do it. Okay, so it's not actually counting the daggers from the card. Like, 7, 9... Wait, what? Is it? No, it's not. Okay. Like, when you're dialing it up, it, like, almost tricks you. The save is 6. We have 7 with Sleeper. We're not in a horrible position, but we're not close to any faction points. So those other points are kind of harder than they look. We advance. So Karthag. So, I mean, battles are kind of our way to do this. We also get another water. I didn't think about that. We get another water from our wind traps. It's a little bit overkill for Ariana, but you know, we're gonna get Research Station this round, which is great. Trashing out that 0 persuasion card's also really good. The problem is, you know, we do face this dilemma, right? Where if Tessia doesn't go Highliner, we probably want to go Highliner, but then at that point, then we're giving up Research Station to Romber potentially. I don't think the game ends this round. It would be very difficult for anyone to make that leap, so we have to kind of expect that we're going to round 8. I mean, if we somehow could win the round, I mean, it is like we'd need one more point besides this and the combat, but there's no way we win the combat without going to Highliner, so it kind of defeats the whole point of it all. Tessia blocks us, which is pretty annoying. She doesn't go to Highliner, though. I mean, the combat is definitely worth more. The problem is there's so much combat juice. People are going to be saving their intrigue cards. Now, Tessia guaranteed doesn't have Shai Halud. And Romber doesn't have his Fatakin Death Command, or not Romber. Why do I get these two confused? They're like different races. But anyway, like, does Romber have his High Council yet? No, but he could, and he's definitely threatening it. And the faction bump probably doesn't matter. So I think it's just a no-go. I think the better play is honestly Research Station. We're only at 6, but it's actually 8 because of the sister. So if we were to take a dagger, for example, to tech negotiation, we would have it. I think we're better off doing selective breeding, but Armand already has the alliance. I don't know that he's going to give it up. Yeah, so like I said, Romber definitely getting his ordnance online. We kind of knew that was going to happen. Looks like Armand is teeing up his embedded agent. Yes, he's guaranteed has embedded agent now. He's going to take it to tech negotiation most likely. So I would say let's go tech negotiation to block him, but embedded agent can't be blocked. It's an infiltrate card. So yeah. It's probably good to play the Legion if we can do it. So I mean, a visit to Wealth would probably be ideal. That puts us to where we probably can't get a Spice Must Flow, though. But the troops are important. I mean, if we think the game's going another round, and the faction is important, we're keeping Romber and Tessia from going there and getting a point. So I think that's the play. Then we can get our other bump with the faction off of smuggling next round. I doubt we get any alliance at all this game. Yeah. I'm worried that Armand might win the combat. Good to see him challenge Tessia, but actually, really, Armand is the threat, not Tessia. So treachery means that the combat's off the table. Because that's 2 troops plus his ordnance. Plus, he's going to be able to put more troops in if he really wants to. But yeah, Armand's actually the threat here, not Tessia. Better off that you take it to fold space, I think. You can act before Armand again next round. Maybe that's too metagamey. But I mean, Tessia can just respond by going still suits, so I don't really like that play. It maximizes the chance of winning the combat, which is good. So what's Armand getting here? He has 3 spice to spend. He's probably getting invasion ships. Maybe flagship, but I don't think he can afford it. He can afford it, I'm wrong. I guess if you put literally everything into it, you can get it. He also protects his guild alliance. He saw a Romber and got scared. The other techs don't really matter to me. I mean, I'm really just saving my spice for Highliner and for Sleeper Must Awaken. Highliner I probably won't have access to next round. Maybe based on my research station that I get, or that I might get, depending on what Tessia does. So I'm thinking that maybe this is a research state or a selective breeding. If I do that, I'm not playing my ring, but I don't think that matters. Probably not going to need more than 2 water at this point in the game. I mean, maybe for the Haga Basin, but faction's more important than water for sure. I mean, we don't really need faction though, because like we're going to get our other Emperor. Besides going more Emperor, essentially, I just don't know what my path is. There's not really any point text available, and the alliances are mostly out of reach. So I think the path is winning the next combat. But if I go selective breeding, I'm probably not going to win the next combat. But if I don't go selective breeding, I'm not going to draw Highliner. It's not going to matter. So let's, based on that very complicated reasoning, let's selective breeding. I think we're at 7 persuasion right now, right? Yeah, we're 7 persuasion right now. We can't get High Council, so this is our best bet, really. I mean, if we really wanted to do it, playing diplomacy there actually makes way more sense. We got it, actually. That was great. And we're potentially threatening Armand next round. I mean, with Web of Power, it's pretty rough trying to steal that. Oh, Tessia didn't protect herself. Okay, so Armand's going to maybe jump into the lead. I keep calling Romber Armand. What am I doing? Make like a Dune video every day and I can't get the leaders' names right. It's crazy. I don't think Armand wins this combat, but if he does, he wins the game. Right? I mean, 9 points with as crazy of an advantage that he's got. But surely he doesn't have it. But, I mean, if he has combat cards, right? But, I mean, Romber has more cards than he does. And he has the Ordnance. So I feel like it's speculative on Armand's part. Dude, I mean, for a second, so, okay, so power play is sometimes better than SMF, but not when you have a Holtzman engine. I kind of agree. Stop being a dick. I could buy the Water Peddler. Maybe she helps me next round, but maybe she sabotages me next round also. So I kind of don't want to buy her. The water probably will not matter. Like, if you power play and steal an alliance from the person that's going to win the game, you know, you're creating a 2-point delta. That's more than the number of points that Spice Must Flow gives you, which is 1, and maybe worse because you draw it, you redraw it. Okay, this guy's being pretty awful. You know, clearly this guy's trying to get away with something. So Romber's going to get the 2-pointer. That's good. Tessia is sitting on an obscene amount of spice. The good news is this one is a 2-pointer, so I do have a chance to win this. I think Armand is struggling with some of the concepts of the game. Yeah, he's operating on a very rudimentary level of logic, unfortunately. In any case, let's go ahead and take our research station. We do not want to do that transaction. Both of these guys are terrible. The Tessia is using racial slurs, and the Armand is just a dick. Also, a point on a faction track, if it's a friendship, is permanent. And if you lock it up, it's also permanent. I don't really need Interstellar. I'm okay with just getting smuggling. If I can get some troops, I can use Legion to deploy them. Problem is that right now I really don't have... I just don't have the persuasion for another Spice Must Flow because I drew the Spice Must Flow I already had. I can go to Imperial Basin, get 2 spice, draw a card. If I draw Guild, which is only a 1 in 6 chance, I can go to Highliner. Not a great odds, to be honest. And that's my only yellow, so it's probably better for me just to go smuggle. Take the L on that. I could also take Dagger to Mentat. The odds of me... the odds of the Mentat still being there are very low. The problem is that by doing that, I almost certainly give up smuggling. So let's take smuggling. The troops are worth it. Let's go down. I don't see any reason to get Solari. It doesn't do anything here. We take Spice. Take an Emperor bump. We're actually at 9 points. We just need to find 1 more point somewhere. The problem is the points being distributed aren't in increments of 1. They're in increments of 2. So, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of tough. It's like all or nothing on the combat. If I go to Conspire, that doesn't work. I was going to say, if I go to Conspire, I could draw an Intrigue card that gives me an Emperor bump, and that's a point, but that costs me my Sleeper Must Awaken. I get 1 spice back from the Spice Must Flow, but I end at 3, and that's not enough. I'm still short. Now, if somebody were to go to Imperial Basin, then I would still get it. But, that's so unlikely, I think, at this point in the game, that it's probably not even worth entertaining. So how do we win the combat? We can deploy 2 troops off of Legion. That's not going to be enough. Romber has 2 actions. So what are we going to do? Lose access to Carthage, which is probably our best base at this point. We're only at 6 persuasion. I don't see a way that we can get... a Spice Must Flow. We're also locked out of High Council because we're 1 Solari short. We could have taken Solari and gotten High Council, but even that gets us only to 8. I think we have a good shot if the game goes another round. We're technically in the lead, but it's going to be rough. Tessia recalling her agent there is pretty bad. It's pretty bad. It basically telegraphs exactly what she's going to do. We don't want to play the Sleeper Must Awaken because if the game does go another round, and it looks like it might, probably will, at that juncture, shoot, man. So, here our options are basically this. We can go to Siege Tabor, pick up some water for our next round, and if we draw a ring, which we probably will, we can Research Station again. Although we'll probably lose in priority to it to Romber. Or we can put one troop in as well. Or we can take Legion to Wealth, try to wind up that Emperor Alliance in a really slow way. That's probably the more reliable way to win, but if we win the next round that way, we probably have somebody jump ahead of us. If we try to win this combat, and basically we only end the combat with 5 troops. That's 10 strength total. It's not a very likely scenario. especially given that Tessia has a Shy Halud probably in hand. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Wealth. I'm going to block these two from getting that point again. I'm going to refill my garrison, and I'm just going to play the long game and assume the game goes to round 9. Because it looks like I'm mostly playing with some inexperienced players, and I think the game will go to round 9. So, at that point, let's try to get like 3rd place here. But ultimately, I mean, we're very confident that we can access Emperor next round. So there's really not a good reason. So Armand is going to try to win this round. And the other players are inexperienced enough that he's probably going to get away with it. Did he use his flagship? Because it looks like he forgot to use his flagship. He just didn't do it. Okay, well, does he have that entry card that lets him like deploy it on his reveal? That's the only thing I can think of. Right? No, he's used it already. Or somebody has used it already. So invasion ships for Tessia, but that's not going to help her win the combat. Surely she would have been better off deploying an Imperial base, and maybe she didn't have any troops at the time. So if Armand wins this round, playing Sleeper gets us to 9. That doesn't matter. We still would lose. So we ought to probably play for another round. I think we'll probably get second either way, regardless of whether we play this card. So, yeah, let's reveal. We probably get iced out of combat rewards entirely. The Water Peddler actually does help us here. So pick up a Water Peddler. Truesayer is interesting. It's more access, but I don't think it matters. We are unlikely to draw the Spy, but if we do, it could be really clutch. There's no liaisons left, so let's just buy a Spy. Call it a day. Armand can buy a Spice Must Flow, potentially. I mean, he's got high count, so he's definitely going to buy a Spice Must Flow. I don't see a way that he has another point. Like he has a guild core, like a guild alliance, or not guild alliance, guild ambassador or anything. Okay, there it is. Well, he's got it. But I mean, playing Shumshares or playing Sleeper Must Awaken wouldn't have made a difference. So we would have lost either way. You guys are both dicks. I don't know of a way to report this guy, so I guess we're just gonna have to deal with it. I mean, your comment was to like make fun of this guy for making a bad play. It's kind of unsportsmanly. And then act like a total like snob afterwards when they were arguing with you about it. I mean, Tessie is worse, but like you're both giant douches. I needed the game to go to the round. That would have required Armand not had home shares, which is okay. I mean, I'm not mad about it. That's how it goes sometimes. We should get second place fairly clearly here. Yeah, we got it. We got second place. Maybe Armand's got Grand Conspiracy. No, we got it. I mean, we didn't win by any means. Armand crushed us, but if the game had gone another round, I think there was a shot. But you know how it goes sometimes.